Just checking to see if there are any other questions. Okay, the person came back. How should I force my mind to be focused and don't think about other different things? That's very hard to do. Very hard to do. I don't think you can force your mind to do anything. If you get into a fight with your mind, you won't win. That's my experience anyway. But what you can do is you can negotiate, meaning you can. There's a thing in Zen. It sort of says a sword can't cut itself, and that means you can't use your mind to know your mind, but you can use your mind to. You can use your reasoning powers to negotiate. So if, for example, there's a kind of thing where people, like, oh, I don't want to think about negative things, or I don't want to think negatively, for example, which is fine. So if you kind of try and force your mind not to think of negative things, you won't win. Your mind will just probably amp up, actually, and you'll end up thinking about more negative things than you would have. But what you can do is you can kind of get a bit scientific with your mind and go, okay, well, thinking about negative things has, bad effects in my body. And you could maybe do some Google searches, give it a bit of data. You could also use a bit of like reasoning with it, kind of go, well, like say if some of the negative things you're thinking about are apprehensions about the future, you say, well, the future doesn't really exist, it hasn't really happened, anything's possible, something could fall out of the sky and that'd be the end for me right now, and I never know. So all I really know about is now, and yes, I have the past experience, but then that's gone as well. All I really have is now. So, yes, the possible scary future you're talking about could happen, but I kind of would prefer to think about a happier future. I'd prefer to think about this one. So you're kind of steering your mind in a direction that you want rather than forcing it. You're kind of giving it some data and encouraging it. That's one way. Then sometimes if there's a lot of emotional stuff going on, you've just got a lot of emotions coming up, sometimes there's nothing to do except just, trying to fight it makes it worse. So it often feels to me in that kind of situation, the most helpful thing to think of is to recognize what's happening and go, yeah, I'm just overwhelmed. I'm just overwhelmed. That's what's happening to me right now. And the mental image I have for that is like being in the center of a tornado. It's like all whirling around me. And I just try and be as still in the center of that as possible. And not, it's like you've one little thought in the direction of something and you get pulled into the tornado. So I just sit in the middle and go, I am overwhelmed right now. And it's all spinning around me. And I'm just going to sit in the middle of this until it passes, because everything passes. And then, it might take a day to pass, which is a long time if you've got a lot of, emotional stuff going on. But, again, you can't force the tornado to stop. So the only thing I've found is to sit in the middle of it and wait for it to stop, or wait for it to ease and pass. So... just rereading your question here. Should I force my mind to be focused and don't think about other things, different things? Yeah. So just specifically for meditation, as I was saying in the explanation, I'm not trying to make myself stop thinking. I am turning off the pictures and turning off the sound. So yes, I am doing that. But then, the mind gets triggered by things like usually external things, like I'll hear a sound or I'll have a sensation in my body or something. Something will trigger a thought, and it's like a train leaving the station. And each carriage is another, link in the train, and the train leaves the station, and I might go 4, 5, 6 stops before I kind of go, oh, I'm thinking, and I'd set aside this time to meditate, and that's fine. You just kind of have to get off the train and go back to the station, turn off the pictures, turn off the sound again, and so it's like the more gentle you can be with yourself, the generally the easier things will go for you. I've found anyway. Like if I get all oppositional, meaning thinking is a bad thing and I want to stop thinking, then it's just never ending. Because like one thing is if you're sitting down to meditate and you turn off the thoughts and you stop thinking, meaning you turn off the pictures and you turn off the sound, you're still there. You are still there. So if you're still there but there's no thoughts, even if it's only for a second, that means like you're not your thinking. And that's a powerful thing to realize. So like you can keep, and when you're in that space, then there's no good and bad, there's no duality. You're just present. There's just this presence of you. You're just what they call the observer. Yeah, you could say that. So you're seeing your thoughts, and that has a powerful effect as well, because it's the observer that notices that you're thinking and goes, oh, let's go back to not thinking again, and bring you back. Okay, so there are some things you can do to help your mind with not think about different things. Be gentle, be compassionate with yourself, and shepherding yourself away from the thoughts. That's what I do anyway. Okay, see if there's any questions. Oh, okay, that's Flowfish saying thank you so much. You're very welcome. Feel free to ask questions. I'm not saying I have all the answers by any stretch, but I have been doing this for a long time. Oh, it was very helpful to me. Oh, that's great. I'm very happy. Okay, well, hopefully see you all again next tomorrow for some more meditation. Okay, bye.